Hello and welcome to the Deep NBA podcast. My name's Sean and joining me today is the one and only Dante Boffin. Mr. Boffin, my man, how are we?
Sean, I'm so invigorated. I'm ready to talk Leftern Conference, over-unders. It's a beautiful day here in Melbourne, Australia. How are you?
I'm spectacular. I am wonderful. I'm spectacular. The sun is shining. You're correct. I can corroborate that. Second half of the pod. If you didn't hear the first half of the pod, I'd recommend you do that to hear what we're doing. But if you're a long-time listener of the Deep 2, you know exactly what we're doing, and you probably have butterflies in your stomach. You're probably giddy with excitement for the second half of our over-unders for the 2026-27 season. Before we get underway, is there anything worth mentioning, Dante?
The only thing that's coming into my mind slightly morbidly is rest in peace, Brandon Clark, who died overnight.
Not tonight.
Literally dead.
Yeah. As I was, not funnily enough at all, but I was doing the run sheet for this podcast this morning, and I've got the additions and the losses, and sadly Brandon Clark was a loss for the Memphis Grizzlies. But there was actually a report this morning about how he died, which is a terrible coincidence, and I say we move on and talk about that when we come to it, because this is a pretty bad way to start a pod.
Vibe check.
Yeah, death and or taxes. Speaking of taxes, luxury tax with the first team. Just remember, we're going in order of net rating, but there could probably be some errors, as we saw from that freaking clanker last episode. The Oklahoma City Thunder, their number is set at 60.5. Last year they won 64 games. They were 7th in offense, 1st in defense, and overall 1st in net rating. This offseason, they added Ade Mara with the 12th pick, Bennett Sturt 16th. They lost Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, and Brandon Carlson. I wrote that there because he looked pretty okay last season, but you've got to be a fucking true hoop head to know that. They also, they re-signed chose Isaiah Hartenstein here over Lou Dort. That was one of the big decisions heading into their offseason. 60 wins is a lot of wins. Can they do it again, Dante?
I think they can, and I have gone over on this team. I'm kind of surprised that it's like, it feels like a low line. Like, that's weird to say, because 60.5 obviously is quite high.
Yeah.
But this team, like Chet missed a whole chunk of the season last year, and Jalen Williams played
33.
I mean, I'm shocked that even it was 33 games. Like, he didn't play for the first few months of the season and then was in and out of the lineup. That kind of feels like this team absorbing their season from hell kind of vibe, and it can't be worse than that in terms of the availability of their key players.
Seriously.
Touch wood that it can't be worse than that. So obviously this line is kind of taking into account that they have lost guys who are playing key rotation roles for them, or in Lou Dort's case as a starter. But I just think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I think that they're still the best team in the conference. And I think that they're honestly not a shoo-in, because to win 61 games, very difficult. But I would be shocked if they didn't hit the over on this. Yeah,
I've also gone over just because for every single thing that you mentioned, they really had a season from hell, and they were starting some third-tier guys. Say what you will, and I know what Lucas will say about AJ, what's his name?
AJ Mitchell.
AJ Mitchell, like, now he should get pushed back to the bench. He should get pushed back a couple of slots, actually. And if you have a full season of Jalen Williams, like J-Dub, next to a team that won 64 games without him playing that well, that's a 61-win team in my eyes. So I've also gone over. Move on.
Yeah, well, I just want to say as well, actually, before we do, like, on the AJ Mitchell kind of point, Lucas hates this guy. He hates him so much, or he hates that people recognize him as a good basketball player. He's a good basketball player. He might, he's probably a cleaner fit in terms of, like, having a playmaking, ball handling guard as your sixth man, kind of anchoring your second unit.
Yeah.
He might just play his way onto the court with Shea and J-Dub and Chet and start alongside Shea in the backcourt. I think that's very much on the cards.
Well, now that Lou Dort's gone, like, we're assuming Cassian Wallace is going to be starting at the 2, which he's a bit, he can do it. He's smaller. Like, does he guard ones and then does Shea guard twos? It's obviously very positional, but it's going to be interesting who's starting at the end of the season.
Well, I mean, even at the start of the season, like between Mitchell, Wallace, and McCain, you've got 3 different kind of archetypes of player who you can play there. And then there's also Alex Caruso, who obviously we wouldn't expect to start, but in a vacuum, if you said Alex Caruso is the starting 2-guard on a really good team, you'd say yes, of course.
Yeah, and if I say, hey, come game 7 of a playoff series, he plays 48 minutes, you're like, yep, fair enough. Now that you have mentioned it, I actually completely forgot about Jared McCain. He is going to be starting. That's they said that.
You reckon?
No, they said he's going to be starting on game 1.
Good for him.
They also, in choosing the guys they have chosen to keep Nikola Topic. I think halfway through the year there is a Nikola Topic plus future first round pick trade to essentially bring in a cheaper rotation piece. I think there's that as well. So maybe we don't know who's going to be starting at the 2.
It would be awesome if he's good and has a good NBA career.
Yeah, real snake.
But cancer and an ACL tear in your first 2 seasons is a pretty tough way to start a good NBA career.
Is there a worse way to start? Seriously, poor guy. San Antonio Spurs, also 60.5. Last year they won 62. They were 4th in offense, 3rd in defense, 2nd in net rating. They added Tobias Harris, Jaden Quinten. I've heard it pronounced. I just don't know how to say it. Do you know?
Quintence.
Okay. Taris Reid Jr., Quintence, they drafted 20th, and Taris Reid Jr. 26th. They lost a few things, but of note, Bismack Biyombo and Kelly Olynyk, who were glorified training pieces for this Spurs team. And as additional notes, I've written here that they replaced 2 absolute zero rotation pieces with 1 definite playoff guy and just 2 rolls of the dice with first-round picks.
Definite playoff guy? Are we sure?
If Tobias Harris is on the OKC Thunder, he plays every playoff game. Do you not think so?
Plays, but like in inverted commas, like.
Yeah, but how hard is it to get a playoff player? Like a guy who.
How hard is it to get someone who can play 5 minutes in a playoff game?
I'm also.
Which is what Tobias Harris will play.
For the Spurs?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think, sadly, he might be playing. It might start with a 2, his minutes, and it's 2 digits. Because last year they were going really, like, when it got down to it, they were going like 7 deep, and it's like, who's that guy? Who's the Carter Bryant, right? It's like, oh man, if only Carter Bryant was like 2 years older, he'd be playing 30 minutes, but he just couldn't, and they were just out of guys. I think
they were out of guys in part because they looked at an old guy like Harrison Barnes and said, no. And I don't personally view Tobias Harris in like a completely different light than Harrison Barnes. I think, he's better than Harrison Barnes. He's almost 35 and he hasn't been particularly good for the Pistons the last kind of 2 years in the sense of like he's played his role on a team that needed a big wing body who can kind of get the shots up, and he is a genuinely good rebounder. Other than that, like I don't know what the value add here is, and I don't view this Spurs team as a team that's kind of crying out for that kind of player archetype at this point.
I'm for the purpose of this, I'm comparing him to getting rid of Bismack Biyombo and Kelly Olynyk. Like, yeah,
I guess sure. In terms of pure like value added on a on a names basis on the team sheet, like yeah, definitely that's an upgrade. I guess I'm just thinking about it through the lens of the opportunity cost. He's on a 2-year 30.
Yeah.
So 15 million. It's like
that's your MLA. Yeah.
That's the MLA. Like. That's the move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not suggesting that I have a ready-made, replacement or what they could have done, but it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, I would have much rather had John Collins than Tobias Harris.
I think
on this team now.
While last week I slagged the hell off John Collins, I think especially starting next to, just playing next to Victor Wembanyama. You can put me out there, and if I hit a couple of threes, I look pretty good next to Victor Wembanyama.
If you hit a couple of threes.
Big if. I get you. When it comes playoff time, I'm going to be singing the same tune as you when it comes to Tobias Harris. But in terms of winning regular season games, like it's much better to have a guy who, maybe this is the year he falls off a bit, but I think he's going to be fine. I think he's just going to be an innings eater. He's better than... They just had so many dead roster spots. Like Mason Plumlee was on this team last year. They had so many just whiffs of roster spots. And
well, we'll see. Like, so they've, like just in terms of the additions here, there's 3 names. In terms of the losses, there's 2 names. Obviously, 3 is one more than 2.
I haven't written down everything that's going in and out.
No, but I'm just in terms of like who we're adding as like viable roster rotations. Quintans and Reed, like we'll see.
Yeah.
So, Tobias Harris is being added onto this team, and like, yes, at least in the regular season will do a job, but it's not exactly like, oh my god, like their depth is so much better this season because they added 2 rookies in the 20s and Tobias Harris. I don't know. I'm going under, and I as everything, context is king, and I think that they're going to be a high 50s and probably finish second in the conference. I'm really high on them. I just think that 61 this season. I don't know. Yeah,
I think I also kind of buried the lead. I'm going over while you're going under. I'm going over because this is who they added, but this Tobias Harris and these 2 draft picks isn't what's making them a 60-win team. It's the fact that Dylan Harper's going to turn 20, Stephen Castle's going to turn 22, Victor Wembanyama's going to turn like 15, right? Like, there's going to be growth. You can project growth from their best players, which you can't do for every team. Carter Bryant, like I mentioned, if he just grows into what we think he can become, he's entering his age 21 season. That's what's going to win them 60 games, not Tobias Harris.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
But in this spreadsheet that I have written, it is very much like the first thing we talk about is Tobias Harris. The first thing we should talk about is the ages of the core. The Houston Rockets, 46.5. Last year they won 52 games. They were 8th in offense, 5th in defense, and 6th in overall net rating. They added Marcus Smart, Bruce Thornton, who they drafted 31st, looked all right in summer league. Bogdan Bogdanovic. Today I learnt that his first name is the first 6 letters of his surname. Did you know that?
I can't tell what's happening right now. Are you doing?
No. Seriously, I've just never.
You've never realized that in Bogdan Bogdanovic's name,
because the way you pronounce it is different. And I've just never looked at it until
I typed it. What do you mean the way that
you
pronounce it is different? Bogdan Bogdanovic.
It's not different at all.
It's the same.
Yeah. Losses: Dorian Finney-Smith and Josh
Whoa!
Okogie.
What the? You're flipping me out over here. That's.
I've just never noticed that. That's like, what if your name was like Boffa? It doesn't really count. Does
it would be like being called, Boffovich. I'm not the Balkan consultant, but if I could hazard a guess, I would say that Vich means son of, and that his father potentially was also a man named Bogdan.
Right. Well, God, if
Bol.
Not Balkan.
No, but you know what I mean.
Balkan. Whoa.
Bol.
They didn't fire Ime Udoka, not that was ever on the cards, but there's been a couple of playoffs now with Boston and with Houston where the problem has been the offense. The problem I would say with this team is the offense. They re-signed Tari Eason on a very good deal to an extent that it's like, dude, fire your agent. It's
5 years, 80 million. Or
which
like
is
that.
If you're Houston, that's awesome. I just remember Googling this a couple of weeks ago. Tari Eason agent, Thaddeus Foucher, and I believe. Let me just bear with me just for a second while I click client list. I think you'll find on his client list. Oh no, that is way too long.
What was your hypothesis here?
No, he also represents Jalen Duren.
Right. Okay.
So a few things going on here.
Yeah, I don't think that 17 million a pop is like bad money for Tari Eason. For Tari Eason, the player.
As in not what he could be.
He can be inconsistent, and he had a bad year shooting the 3, and he is also injury prone. So, like, I guess the surprise would be that it's such a long deal. Like, 17 million a year actually sounds completely reasonable to me for both sides. Maybe something more like what John Collins signed in Detroit, where it's a 17 over 3, 51 over 3 years.
The John Collins pod.
Rather than, we're only 10 minutes in as well. rather than over 5 years. Because, I do think there's a pretty substantial chance that in 2 or 3 years, like Tari Eason could be a $20 to $25 million player, and he's left a bit of money on the table. But I suppose for an injury-prone guy, if they put 5 years in front of you, it's hard to walk away from that.
Yeah, okay, so you've written here over on 46.5. They're getting Fred VanVleet back, Reed Shepherd, another year of development, Armin Thompson, probably be the exact same player. I'm not going to project he's going to get an amazing three-point shot. Kevin Durant, another year older. Is this his final year? Probably not, but that's the sort of discussions we're having. He also there was the Kevin Durant gate or the Kevin Durant burner gate. I don't know, whatever.
Where he was slagging off people like Şengün from a burner account.
Yeah,
he's a sociopath.
Yeah. Some of his replies. So they released the. You might not be abreast of this, but they released
the files.
No, they released the NBA 2K27 mid-range ratings.
You're right. I wasn't abreast.
And he replied, and he's like, "Ronnie, I'll just share it. Mid-range.
What, like mid-range scoring ratings in 2K, the new 2K game? What? And he's like,
and he said, Ronnie 2K as a company, I am triggered. 97 midi, and then like 15 question marks. Do you reckon you could name some of the guys who are leading the league in mid-range according to NBA 2K?
like a Devin Booker.
Devin Booker not in the top 10.
Jason Tatum
not in the top 10.
SGA
number 1.
Yeah. I don't know, like Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson's 5th. Just keep in mind this includes sort of post jump shots as well. So like Jokic is 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
Kyrie Irving's 3.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant's 7th.
Yeah,
just ahead of Brandon Ingram.
But he's
Damian
on
Lillard.
90. But he's on 7. But his rating's 97.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what are we talking about here?
Exactly. But can I just say, so you've got Shea, Jokic, Kyrie Irving. There's a special 4th player: Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram, Damian Lillard, DeMar DeRozan. The 4th player on this list is Trey Johnson of the Washington Wizards.
What?
Higher than Jalen Brunson, higher than Kevin Durant, higher than even DeMar DeRozan, right? Like, just a guy who, that's what he does. Yeah. Like, yeah. So if I'm Kevin Durant, maybe I'm a little bit pissed off here. So
that has to be like that has to be like the intern.
Yeah, just loves him.
Okay, so this is what the fucking clanker has to tell me. During his 2025-26 rookie season with the Washington Wizards, Trey Johnson shot approximately 49.5% on mid-range field goals. Now, that's quite a good number. 50% from the mid-range. That's pretty good. On a modest volume of about 1.9 attempts per game. So he's making one...
Yeah, Shea's taking like 8, right?
He's making 1 midi per game, and he played 60 games. So he's made 60 mid-range jump shots, which is 38 less than the rating that he's been given for mid-range jump shots on 2K27.
Now, yeah, okay, that's a reach.
Dude, this, honestly, like, I've been loyally following 2K, playing, like, every game for literally decades, but this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm renouncing I will not be buying 2K27 next year.
You haven't bought it in years, Dante Buffer. I was playing before you came.
Yeah? What kind of bullshit dog water fucking sim are you doing?
I was playing the second in-season tournament game for the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
No changes. I'm just running the team to see what it looks like. So funnily enough, we're doing the Houston Rockets. And on 2K, they're awesome. So there's got to be a team that falls out. Someone has to fall out of the West.
Damn.
And I might pick the Rockets. I'd love to, because this next team I want to pick as well.
Yeah.
And the next team.
Yeah, there's a couple coming up that are fall candidates.
Okay, I'm going to go over on the Rockets because...
Wow, good.
Yeah, that's...
Well, bad for me. I saw this number and I thought that is so low. Again, OKC potential where like last season was the...
Problem year.
And it's like chemistry issues. Fred VanVleet missed the whole season. Eamon Thompson didn't take the ball handling creation leap. Reed Shepherd was playing a couple spots up in the rotation. Like all of these things now will be settled. Hopefully, Ty Eason is a little bit healthier this season, and
I would have just liked one more offensive initiator. Like, I know Fred VanVleet's coming back, but like Marcus Smart's a role player. Marcus Smart's a 3-and-D guard. Reed Shepherd, you can't promise that he's going to be a lead creator because he wasn't last year. Yeah. So it's a lot of Fred VanVleet.
See, it is a lot. It is a lot, but at the same time, like they have so much.
Yeah.
They actually have so much creation talent on their team. It's just not all in the guard spots.
Yeah.
This team has fucking Alperen Şengün on it.
Yeah.
One of the, I don't know, handful of best.
Of good players. How good do you reckon he is? When it's all said and done, now I know we have to hurry through this, but when it's all said and done, is he, how good is he? I don't even know what my definition is, but...
I don't know, like...
All NBA?
It's perfectly like his career or this season, like
his career.
I think he could make a couple of All NBA teams.
After if you told Kevin Durant retires,
if you told me that he was a 4-time All-Star, 2-time All NBA player, I would be like perfectly. But I guess what I'm saying in terms of this team and the offensive element of it is that his skill set as a big is at least in part that he is a creative passer. He's very good in the DHO. He's very good creating from the elbows.
He runs like he's got mayonnaise up his butt.
That's one, like playing through him as a creator is one way to address the lack of like kind of a true
point guard. Yeah, and you can also do that with Kevin Durant when he's locked in. Like the Warriors,
he just doesn't want to do that.
The Warriors really did a lot of stuff with DHOs with KD, and it's like, don't
let me scare you, but that was like 9 years ago.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was 8 years ago. Denver Nuggets, 48.5. Last year they won 54. They were first in offense, 21st in defense, 7th in net rating. They added Marvin Bagley, Trevon Brazile, who they drafted 35th. He looked really good. He looked really good in Summer League. He had some great games. Alpha Diallo, who's that, Sean? I don't know, but he's a small forward who won the EuroLeague's Best Defender Award for 2026. Just a minimum guy. They lost. Bruce Brown's still a free agent. I don't know. I feel like when they wrap up the Peyton Watson stuff, they might just bring Bruce Brown back. He would have signed with another team if another team wanted him. They also lost Tim Hardaway Jr. He instantly ran to Giannis Antetokounmpo's side. They... also lost Jonas Valanciunas finally. Was
he gone to Europe?
He hasn't gone yet, I don't think. Yeah, Jamie, pull that up. They re-signed Spencer Jones, who OKC gave an offer sheet, which locks Denver to becoming a second apron team. Peyton Watson still wilting. It looks like it's going to be a sign and trade.
It's been a very agricultural kind of
sheet.
The metaphors this episode and last
just
episode.
Wilting, isn't
and
it?
I noticed that there's another character later in the run sheet who you've referred to as on the vine as well. So we're over here at the Deep 2, like we're in the fields. We're tilling, plowing, sowing, reaping.
They also re-signed Tyus Jones, who looked bad for the Orlando Magic, who were desperately after what he brought to the team in theory, and he couldn't do it. And then they said, maybe a change of scenery, and he looked bad, and they brought him back. So the Peyton Watson thing, there was a report this morning that the Cavs, the Hawks, the two other teams are looking to do a sign and trade, and it looks very much like the Denver Nuggets will sign and trade Peyton Watson. Whoever they get back, they might get a few players back, but it's not going to be as good as a single player as Peyton Watson. I think we can guarantee that. So let's just keep that in our mind. Always like to bring up this stat, but since the Denver Nuggets, since Jokic has come into being Jokic, they have eclipsed 50 wins 5 times now. Now, there was a moment there where he'd only done it once in 4 years, but now it's 5 in 9, 5 in 7. So I don't think that's longer an argument that I can bring up, and I will bury that argument from now on. So, is this team going to win over 48.5 games?
No.
Ooh.
This is the first of my teams that I think are not going to be as good as historical precedent suggests they will be. No, most notably because everyone in this team is either shit or always injured.
Yeah.
Or Nikola Jokic. Those are the three categories of player. And we've seen last year, and to some extent the year before, the limitations of Jokic and not much else, or Jokic and an inconsistent cast of characters. High 40s, low 50s regular seasons is actually pretty much where you max out, with Jokic playing at an MVP level and the team being what it is around him.
Yep.
And I don't know. Christian Brown turned into a fucking pumpkin last season, and he's starting the first year of his 25. When we're talking about Tari Eason money, Christian Brown, 5 years, $125 million. Like, who's Christian Brown's agent?
I would much rather swap those guys. You know what I mean? Like they're
like you couldn't. You would have to. Christian Brown and 2 first-round picks would be the the cost for getting Tari Eason. Like, there's no world in which Christian Brown goes out and like a good player comes back in without sending out serious kind of capital to buttress that.
Yeah.
I just think that, Gordon is a year older and his body is not what it was. Cam Johnson, let's see. Year 2, let's see. Jamal Murray, again, one of these guys that is just like every second season for Jamal Murray is just like 46 games. He's really good. He might not be good enough to be Jokic's like second guy and help really fight off this team on the wane. And that's when he's even on the court consistently. So I just think there's too many things kind of pulling in the direction of this team might fall off. I wouldn't expect them to fall off like, and be 40 and 42, but like I think this could be a 44, 45 win team pretty easily. Yeah,
they're the 16. I'm also doing that. We made fun of this team. Like I think Marco came on the pod and we just talked about some of the moves / lack of moves that the Denver Nuggets have done. But it's like, Marvin Bagley, right? And it's like, you only drafted a dude in the second round. Like, wow, this is how you build around like Jokic and Murray. But they've got to like. They've done well around the edges. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but like the guys Marvin Bagley has been all right for the past couple of years. I think he's maybe the best backup center they've had for the last 2 years, which is damning with the faintest of praise.
I was going to say, DeAndre Jordan is seriously upset about that.
Yeah. Like, the guy who's just a training partner. Trevor Brazile looked good. Like, he looked good in Summer League, which doesn't always translate. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, I'm massively shaking my head because what are we fucking talking about? But Trevor Brazile looked good. Like,
no. But he looked really good, right? What if they drafted him and I didn't even know who he was? That's something. Just, again, devil's advocate, Alpha Diallo. Okay, you've got a 3-and-D wing in theory.
If this is the kind of advocacy that the devil currently has, I just say we pack it up because the return of Christ is imminent. The devil is losing with this kind of advocacy. No, in all seriousness, like, it doesn't fucking matter about Trevor Brazile and Marvin Bagley because the problems of this team are like structural in terms of who are the foundational pieces and where are they at in their career and ability to be on the court. And Trevor, Marvin Bagley, it's awesome that Marvin Bagley can play 13 minutes a game for the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah.
Marvin Bagley might need to play 30 minutes a game for 50 consecutive games, and that's when the problem is. Like, all of these backups are like good backup pieces in theory, but Trevor Brazile probably can't be like a high-level NBA rotation piece for a 4 seed this season.
I think the big thing is if you told me that Aaron Gordon's going to play 82 games, I will go over on this team.
I'm not telling you that.
Right, and that's why I'm going under. All right, both gone under. Exact same number. There's a lot of copy numbers here. I guess we're doing this a little bit earlier than usual, but the Minnesota Timberwolves also 48.5. Last year they won 49. Their offensive rating was 12th. They were 8th in defense. They were 10th overall. They added LaMelo Ball, who we talked about a lot last pod. Also added Josh Green as part of that deal. They signed Trey Lyles. They have lost Julius Randle, Naz Reid, and Mike Conley. They re-signed Ayo Donsumnu to a huge deal, and they also re-signed Bones Highland to a shockingly small deal for what I thought he was worth. Dante, what are you going to do with this here Minnesota Timberwolves?
I'm going under again. I don't feel particularly strongly about this one. I think this is a really well set line, and I think that it's kind of awesome to have LaMelo and Ant together. And when we did, we kind of podcasted like immediately after this trade, went through, and I was feeling quite critical about it. And I still, like, obviously I'm going under. I don't think that this team's going to be like awesome, but I think it'll be really good to see those guys play together. And I think they'll complement each other really well. I would expect this offense to be pretty good. I just think that losing so much of the heart of the team, not to mention two really big bodies who've played, you know, thousands of minutes at the 4 and the 5 over the last 2 or 3 seasons for this team, will be a lot to overcome. And I think that there are some other teams that will kind of be jumping up into this range. Again, it kind of projects to be a very crowded Western Conference in the 45 to 50 win range. So I'm going a soft, non-committal under.
Well, thank goodness we have them available too. I'm going over, and it's a soft non-committal over, because while I think their backcourt could be the stir that straws the best offense in the whole entire league, and maybe like we might see some historical figures seriously with these two.
Historical figures,
if they're healthy. Jaden McDaniels is really good as a secondary scorer. And if LaMelo is doing more of like his playmaking role, that's more like, I think Jaden McDaniels can build off what he did in the playoffs last year.
And LaMelo already has experience playing with McDaniels.
His brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. The only cause for concern is that their identity has been big and burly. And I remember someone was like interviewing players about like, oh, should we there was like a Athletic Anonymous poll, and they were just sort of asking some silly questions. It was like mid-season. They're like, hey, what if we get rid of like the defensive 3 seconds? What do you think would happen? And some anonymous GM was like, if we do that, the Wolves would win 82 games, because they're just like, they're so burly. They just have 2 bigs at all times. You can just stick them in the paint. They're going to like beat the crap out of everyone more than they already do. And that identity's gone, because Rudy Gobert is the only true center left on this team. There's been a lot of podcasting talking about Yoan Beringer, which is like awesome. I'm so happy you like this guy, but we haven't seen it yet. We haven't even seen it at a FIBA level, right? Because he's French. So
they've got some good players on the French team that's keeping him out or something.
Yes, but also like we haven't seen this guy play good. It's all promise. Someone who also had a lot of promise was Luka Garza, and he's no longer on the team. But Rudy Gobert's 34.
When did he have a lot of promise outside of the
I saw him score like
NC?
52 in Seattle.
Bro, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert, how many time All-Star?
I reckon it's quite big. I reckon it's like 3.
That you've nailed it. Doesn't that feel very low?
Remember when he was crying?
Yeah.
And then Draymond made fun of him?
Remember when COVID and he breathed on the microphones?
No, he was crying because he wasn't an All-Star, and he said, I deserve to be out there.
He's a 3-time All-Star and 4-time All-NBA, so I wonder if that was the year.
Yeah.
He went bang, 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 19, 20, 21, Utah, All-Star. That surprises me that it's only 3. Anyway, like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Ooh, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Like 3 DPOYs.
He's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
9-time All Defensive Team. Like,
and gold medal.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, his teams have been consistently good for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's Basketball Hall of Fame, so he's got a silver and a gold.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. 3-time All-Star.
I tell you, when he gets enshrined, Draymond Green's Twitter profile will be very fun to watch. But like Rudy, let's say he plays 60 games, right? It's just what we sort of see from guys in their mid-30s. So this is my when this team's fully healthy, I reckon they're a mid-50s team, but I don't think they're going to be fully healthy all the time with LaMelo, with Rudy Gobert. When's Dante DiVincenzo coming back? Like they say he's coming back in the middle of the season, but like he tore his ACL on the Achilles. Oh, he tore his ACL or Achilles?
I think it was Achilles, yeah.
In the playoffs, right? So I don't know, 9 months. Like that's Jason Tatum. Blah,
well,
blah.
I mean, like it's not 9 months. Like Jason Tatum just came back super quickly. Like the Achilles is still, even with the improvements in sports science technology,
SST.
It's a year. It's a year, and you don't know how they're going to look when they come back.
This is also the second time he's done something major. When he was with the Bucks, he also tore a crucial ligament. So, yeah, I guess that's why you've got Ayo Donsumnu. I really like Terrence Shannon Jr., but we've had this chat on this pod. You're like, whatever, sure.
No, Terrence Shannon Jr. is good, and he played really well for them down the stretch last year and in the postseason. Yeah, I don't know, but I just.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, soft under, soft over. Anthony Edwards could win the MVP if they're fully healthy, though.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Which, for some of the other teams we're talking about, is not always the case. LA Lakers, 45.5. Last year, they won 53 games. They were 10th in offense, 21st in defense, which I think that might be a typo because another team was 21st in defense. Yep, the Denver Nuggets were also 21st in defense. They were 15th net rating. Now, additions. Walker Kessler, Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, Zaire Williams, Matisse Tybalt, Sandro Mamukelashvili, Kevon Looney, Jaden Hardy, Cameron Carr, who they drafted 24th. Really rough having Mamukelashvili halfway through there. That's a lot of syllables.
You can't say Quintance, but you can say Mamukelashvili as the 7th name in a list of 10 on one breath. I don't understand you, Sean Carroll.
They lost LeBron James, DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, Marcus Smart, and Luke Kennard, and they re-signed Austin Reeves. That was one of the first piece of business that they did. This is difficult. Where do you want to go from here?
I'm shocked at this.
Hello.
At this line being 45.5. I'm going over. I think, and I'm like confident over. I think that Luka Doncic and a bunch of guys with one good, running mate.
Yeah.
One really good running mate. Crossing my fingers that Austin Reeves can play more than 35 games this season.
Yeah.
That is just a tried and tested, proven
formula.
We know that works. Luka was one of the best players in the league last year. He led the league in scoring. If Luka can stay on the court, this team I think is guaranteed to be really, really good. And like Kessler, although he's not worth what they gave up for him, in my humble opinion, that's the Luka center. Just someone who's just going to be 32 minutes a game, rock solid rim protection and rim running.
Yep.
Done. No worries. Grimes, Sexton, Mamu, all good additions. Like, I just think that this team is going to be deep and varied, and with Luka, Reeves, and Kessler, like that is just a great foundation to build from.
Kevon Looney was very bad at basketball last year, and if Walker Kessler is injured, keep in mind he played a single-digit game last year. Kevon Looney's not an NBA level center anymore. Definitely not a starter. So are they starting Sandro Mamu at the 5?
Well, that would not probably be ideal, but you're just banking on the fact that Walker Kessler, who there's a little bit of the Derek Lively school of, like how many games.
Yeah.
But Walker Kessler played, he hurt, it was last year was a shoulder.
Yeah.
And so I think he played 5 games.
Yeah.
And then hurt his shoulder.
He played
and then
5.
There's a bit of the Utah Jazz school of whatever the fuck's been going on there. Going on, like...
A lot of schools.
You're just banking on the fact that, that's not a chronic shoulder injury. Shoulder's a bit of a random one. And his other injury issues are behind him.
Yeah.
If the guy they gave up 2 picks and 2 swaps for Kessler?
Yeah.
If Kessler proves to be, the injury risks prove to be well-founded, then this team's fucked. I'm going over.
Korea, 201 games. So that's double Derek Lively.
Dude, I literally will never forget the chills I got when he ran through the banner for his 200.
I'm also going over just because 45 is small. This number doesn't mean anything, right? If Walker Kessler's injured, this team might win 30 games, right? But if he's healthy, then they're almost definitely winning 46.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think they have the floor of being quite that bad. But This team has Luka Doncic.
I know, and
just
I really
averaged 32 points a game.
I really like Zaya Williams as like a buy low. Like I think he's going to be
the most Sean Carroll thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
I still like Zaya Williams. Matisse Thybulle, whatever. Like he's a minimum backup wing, but like we know what he does and he's good. Colin Sexton is really good. A lot of positional overlap with their two best players. Whatever. Quentin Grimes really good. A lot of positional overlap with their two best players. Whatever. Oh, I've said that twice now. Jaden Hardy, yeah, okay, clutch flyer.
These guys are all like NBA players though, and Luka is one of these Jokic kind of figures where just get NBA players who can do a lot of different things and have like some overlapping or complementary skill sets with Luka and let him cook. Whereas that has been like the Nuggets formula, except the guys that we're talking about for the Nuggets this season are like whoever Trevon Brazil, the 35th overall pick rookie, and Alpha Centauri, who's won the EuroLeague's best defender. Like, you know, like Jaden Hardy in terms of like a quantifiable NBA product is the worst guy on this list of Lakers additions, and he's better than both of those guys right off the bat.
Yeah.
So,
Phoenix Suns. Now, this is funny. Phoenix Suns 39.5. Last year, the number 40 was bandied about so much in this room on this podcast.
Bandied.
Last year they won 45. Whoa, that's big. They were 19th in offense, 14th in defense, 14th in net rating. They added this offseason Michigan State Spartan Miles Bridges, non-Michigan State Spartan Luke Kennard, Koa Pete, who they drafted 30th, and Pat Spencer. This is how I learn. You took Pat Spencer from my favorite basketball team.
Easily one of my favorite baseball players.
He's really good. No, he was a lacrosse player.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, man. I was in the Doldrums.
Does that mean he's from the northeast, the Boston?
Where's Loyola College?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's consult.
They lost Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. They re-signed.
Loyola Marymount, or
you'll have to Google that.
Loyola University, Maryland.
You'll have to.
Oh no, Loyola College, higher education institution in Chennai, India.
Pat Spencer College, Loyola University, Maryland.
Yeah, that checks out.
3-year guy. Now Matt Ishbia has had an edict with this team, which is flipping the culture after bringing in one of the worst culture players you can in Kevin Durant. And you've sort of picked up that Tim Connolly school of goodwill. Again, lots of schools, lots of agricultural references. Let me finish. The second you get a chance, you're like, all right, what's above market value? Bang, 4 years of it. You, Mark Williams, what's above market value? 3 years of it. Jordan Goodwin, hey man, here's a single digit per year for like 5 years. We really like you. So you've locked everyone down. Dylan Brooks, yesterday or the day before, got 3 for 70 something, right?
Yeah.
So you've re-signed everyone. The vibes are good. That does help, construct a basketball team. Bringing in a guy who's been known to abuse his partner multiple times, probably not good for the culture, but whatever.
That was the elephant in the room with the culture chat.
Right. But Dante, this is your favorite basketball team, 39.5. What do you think about everything you've done and moving forwards?
Well, I'll just get this out straight off the bat. I'm contractually obligated to go over every year for this exercise, like I have done for the past 5 years. I'm going over, and like I have done for many of the past 5 years, I'm not 100% sure that I believe in the over.
Yeah.
Because, the number 40 was getting bandied about last year, mainly because you said, oh, this team could win 40 games. And I said, Sean, you're a fucking idiot.
But you know why? You remember why I said that? Because in Summer League, like, Jordan Ott was coaching or he was there. And, like, you guys loved each other. You guys were having so much fun. It was like you had, like, secret handshakes. You were doing, like, funny, like, 3-point sallies. That's like Brooklyn Nets 2018 vibes.
Yeah. Well, and that, you proved to be right.
Yes.
I guess the case for going over is that Devin Booker didn't have a vintage Booker season last year. So...
What's going to happen again?
Well, can he get back to that this year? And this is another team where it's like there's just a whole bunch of like really good NBA players all over this roster. Miles Bridges, We shall see. We shall see on that one. I really like Luke Kennard. Mainly just because I watched him quite closely when he was at Duke University, and he was no joke Luke Kennard Duke era was no joke one of the most unguardable basketball players I've ever seen in any era or competition ever. And that has just stuck with me, even though he has been a pretty mid NBA player in many of his stops.
He's been good. He's been fine. I mean, at the start he was bad, but like the past couple of years, it's like he's that weird guy who only takes threes and doesn't step inside the 3-point line.
Gillespie, Brooks, Williams, they're all good. Kaman Malawach, you can probably speak
good.
to at Summer League, looks good. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
The over's pretty well set, it seems like to me. Yeah. And I this team could be high 30s or low 40s, and I wouldn't bat an eyelid. But I am going over.
Yeah. Dylan Brooks paid through to his age 34 season. How do you feel paying him close to $30 million when he's 34?
Well, that deal I think was 3 for 72 or something like that. So 24 million a year, whatever.
I was actually going to go under, but I might go over. Again, this is where we're building towards Adam Silver's basketball utopia of everyone winning 41 games. You're really deep. Carmen Malawach, I believe, will be good at basketball. I think he will be a solid backup center, and for the many games that Mark Williams will miss, Carmen Malawach is going to be a fine starter.
Right, I thought you were coming in there he will be a good basketball player. He'll be a solid backup.
As in, maybe the year after this, it's okay, is he a starter level guy, and do you have a little bit of a problem with Mark Williams? Ryan Dunn is a good defender.
Ryan Dunn, whatever, we'll see.
Oseo Gadaro is a good third center.
Yeah.
Rasheer Fleming looked really dominant in Summer League. Again, I don't know why. I just watched 4 Suns games and it was good. Luke Kennard, great backup. Jalen Green, I'm going to say roll.
Didn't even mention Jalen Green.
I'm going to say roll of the dice for maybe the 5th season in a row. If he can live up to his potential, if not, it was whatever. He sort of came in because he missed the start of the year, and then he came in and it was how's he going to integrate with this fun-loving team?
Is he in the Paolo draft?
And then he got... no, he was drafted behind Cade Cunningham. Because...
Wow, Cunningham, Green, Mobley, Barnes.
Someone tweeted a picture of Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham in their first Summer League duel, which is always the first game of Las Vegas. Someone's like, man, can't wait to watch these two battle it out for years to come. And then I commented and I said, yeah, the Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins of our generation. And then this dude said, I'm bookmarking this tweet and coming back to it one day. And I bookmarked his tweet. And I saw it the other day when I was scrolling through my likes and bookmarks.
Can I just interrupt very quickly to give you can I just give you this run of picks in the end of the lottery of the 2021 draft? Zaire Williams, James Bouknight, Joshua Primo, Chris Duarte.
Whoa.
How's that for back to back to back? Then outside of that, it's Moses Moody, Corey Kispert, Alperen Sengun, Trey Murphy III, Trey Mann, Kai Jones. Put that to the side. Jalen Johnson. It's pretty good. 5 of 6 good NBA players.
Yeah. Also going over, this team might win 41 games. Congratulations, Dante. Let's take a quick break and come back in a second. And we are back. The LA Clippers, their number is set at 28.5. Their record was 42 and 40 last year. They were 14th in offense, 19th in defense, 16th in overall net rating. They added Keaton Wagler and Jonai Broom, who they got in the LeBron James salary dump. They lost Nick Batum, Brad Beal, John Collins. Now, I haven't said anything about Kawhi Leonard. And when we did the pod last week, we said... he's going to, for the purposes of the Toronto Raptors, we were assuming he was going to be on the team. But there was a new report from, who's the guy who's breaking all the news about Kawhi? Oh, it's killing me.
Not Pablo Torre.
Pablo Torre.
So
he released something yesterday or the day before about the Daktronics. Have you heard this?
No. What the fuck is a Daktronic?
It's an electronics company that makes big LED screens, but they manufactured the big Jumbotron for the Clippers' new stadium. So he's found another smoking gun. So the thing with the trees was okay, the Clippers powers that be managed to sort of weasel their way out of it a little bit. Where it was like, oh, I thought Aspiration was a booming company, right? And
yeah, we were also conned by this guy, and he bears the responsibility for all of this dodgy stuff.
Yeah, but the Daktronics stuff that Pablo Torre found out on Pablo Torre finds out is the same. Like it's literally the exact same, except with this one, like, so Kawhi was getting millions of dollars, Kawhi was getting funneled money via this company, but there is a paper trail because the Clippers pay them for their services, but their services are very tangible, where it's like, okay, please buy some LED screens, and they've given them much more than LED screens. Kawhi had a partnership deal. He did no partnership. The team's never had, sorry, not the team, the company has never had a public figure in their marketing before. They've never had, like, you know, Messi getting up there and holding up their screens. They've only ever done it with Kawhi. Kawhi has done no work for them. So this is just as bad, if not worse. And if this has come out first, we would have been going on about the Daktronics just as much as we've gone on about Aspiration. So I think Kawhi Leonard is going to play for the LA Clippers next year. That's where I was getting with all of that.
Well, I will be listening to that episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out, because that sounds really interesting.
I say that because while we just did the Clippers last week and assumed Kawhi was on the Clippers, I think we can assume Kawhi's on, the Raptors. I think we can assume Kawhi's on the Clippers, because if I'm the Raptors, I'm not touching that doubly.
Well, I did not assume last week that he would be on
the
Raptors, and I went under on the Raptors over under, and I said under on vibes. And you're not going to believe what I'm saying about this line, 28.5 for the Clippers. I'm saying under on vibes. If that's true, and Kawhi plays for the Clippers next season, no way are we getting Kawhi. He is going to be mentally checked out. He's not going to be like battling now that everyone else on this team has kind of departed, and they're like, you know, looking to pivot fully into the youth movement. Like, this is not going to be a vintage, you know, 70 game.
Because last season was a vintage.
No, for sure, it absolutely was. But I just don't think, like, Kawhi's 34. He wants to leave, very obviously. He's being fucking investigated for like serious fraud, the penalties of which are unknown. All of this, you know, he comes back. The team very clearly wants to pivot to a youth movement. It's just not giving that he is going to be there week in, week out, 28, 7, and great defense. Like, it's just not giving me that at all. No. And I just think at this point, they're so denuded of talent. That they're just going to be, they might be the worst team in the conference. That's on the table. Okay. So I think 28 is like actually pretty high.
Darius Garland's quite good at basketball. Keaton Wagler, there's definitely concerns about how good he can be. I haven't watched any film. I didn't watch any summer league. But I'm on the Wagler is good. Oh, really?
Train. Yeah.
Oh, well, it sounds like you haven't watched any film or any summer league.
Yeah. But that's my guy. That's my guy.
Dante, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you're going to want to change guys.
No, we'll see. Look.
His game is predicated on creating defense with a step back on smaller college athletes.
Can I just say that's 6'5", 2 guards whose game is predicated on, you know, a decent handle and getting their defender on their back shoulder. Yeah, guys like that have never done anything. Oh, wait a second. Devin Booker. Yeah.
James Harden. Okay. Yeah. Darius Garland good. Brandon Ingram / Kawhi Leonard. Are they going to have the same production?
Brandon Ingram, like how fuck, you know, like literally what the fuck, bro. You know, right, I guess that's, you know, where
we do the pod.
Well, we're doing the pod now in the month that we're doing it, which is not September or October when we would usually do it. In part because I'm going overseas for quite a long time. Maybe the Aspiration Clippers Raptors stuff would have been resolved, you know, closer to the start of the season. It doesn't look like it, especially not with these new allegations emerging. But that would be the sort of thing that, you know, it gets resolved and it's like, oh, well, we can just assess whether Brandon Ingram plays for this team or for that team. Like, doing it in the dark like this, it's like, well, I don't fucking know what is going to happen to the Clippers if Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick are on this team next season. You know,
Well, yeah,
like-
I mean, only one guy really has an impact on winning. But going down the pecking order, Brook Lopez, age 38 season. He was fine last year, but he's the starting centre now because Zubac is gone. Isaiah Jackson is a small rim running centre. Yannick Coden, Niederhauser, 24 already. Rui Hachimura, they gave the full mid-level exception to. Derek Jones Jr., like you trade him for like 2 good seconds at the deadline. And Benedict Mathurin on the vine.
dude.
Was this the guy that you were mentioning about? On the vine, but it sounds like the Clippers are focused on trading him. One of the teams, well, there's a few teams linked, but one of them's like the Bulls. So it's like, okay, what are you going to get there? You're going to get like another Chris Dunn. So you can have like 2 Chris Dunn backups. I don't know. It's the vibes are wrong, and in a league where they don't control their pick, flatten lottery odds, every team's going to be trying. The LA Clippers will be the team that just simply doesn't need to be not bottom 3, and they're going to be a bottom 3 team.
So I just asked Google AI, if Benedict Mathurin was a grape variety, what would he be? Considering that he's out there on the vine, I just want to know what we're getting, or what a perspective might buy or might get.
Yeah.
And Google AI says that he would be a bold, high-energy Syrah. This grape matches his explosive scoring style, tough competitive edge, and vibrant physical talent on the basketball court. Look, I love a Syrah. So, fucking, can we get Benedict Mathurin on the Phoenix Suns?
Do you say Syrah or say Syrah?
Syrah. Yeah.
Portland Trailblazers, 43.5. Last year they won 42. There was 22nd in offense, 16th in defense, and overall 18th. They added Ja Morant. Whoa, he's awesome. A couple of years ago. Brandon Carlson, Micah Potter. They lost Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle, and Chris Murray. They also extended Rob Williams on a really team-friendly deal where they can sort of wash their hands of it if he doesn't hit various games played marks. They didn't extend Denny Avdia, which they could have done that thing where they renegotiated and extended, but their books were too clogged up for next year. So they had the opportunity to enter this off-season, clear a bit of money for the future, and then give Denny as much as you can because he looks like he's going to be that good, and he is that good. But instead, they went the process off, which I don't hate, make the team better. Denny's going to be a free agent. He's going to want to stay because you're winning games right now. But I don't think they're going to do that. Let's just look at their depth chart. Let me just type here, Trailblazers. I just want to read out all the point guards on this roster. We've got Ja Morant, Scoot Henderson, Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard. Starting at the 2 is Shaedon Sharp for all the minutes there, all the games that he does play. You famously have been ringing the drum / bell
about games played.
You definitely beat the drum and not the. But yeah, games played. How good is he? He's got $200 million, but it's like, wow, like what do you have here? Anyway, there's the reason we say it is because there's upside. Too Many Kamara had a bit of a down season last year, but he'd been likened to maybe a little bit early. Scottie Pippen.
He had been likened to Matisse Thybulle.
Then Denny Avdia. Donovan Clingan, I think, is good at basketball. A lot of people are talking about his three-point shooting, but you talk about Trey Johnson mid-range attempts and attempts per game. Hey, look up Donovan Clingan three-point attempts per game. Rob Williams, good backup center. Yang Hansen, awesome to sell some jerseys in China. This team's not a very good basketball team. They've got heaps of talent, but none of it fits. They have said that they will be starting Ja Morant and Damian Lillard, which I don't think is the way to go. Damian Lillard has never been a good catch and shoot three-point shooter, mostly because that's not what his teams have needed him to do. So you can say, awesome, one of the best three-point shooters of our life, but we've never seen him in that role. He's never really been off ball. And then on top of that, you've got all the Tom Dundon stuff going on, and the team might move. And I've been listening and reading to a lot of stuff about this Trailblazers thing, and I've come around to Tom Dundon's mindset because it's not actually all him. He sort of bought the team with the... we can talk about this actually off air.
I've been reading about it as well, and I have a completely different...
Really?
...take on it.
I definitely think he's in part to blame, but he bought the team with the idea of... let
me say one thing, and let me make one joke, and then we can talk, and then let's talk about it because we're here, Well, we'll see if the Ja Morant and Damian Lillard backcourt pairing works. But if it doesn't, thank God they've got a strong and authoritative coach on hand who can be empowered to make those difficult decisions if that backcourt pairing doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That's a Micah Nori joke because he's the most cucked and least empowered basketball coach in the history of the world. This whole Tom Dundon thing, whatever, he bought the team, whatever, the stadium needs to be renovated and like revamped.
State money, he's money.
It's an old stadium, like does need to be renovated, etc. The state and the city of Portland, Oregon, the city of Portland and the state of Oregon have committed funding in the order of like $600 million. Like they're literally prepared to pay for it. The Blazers have missed all of the like deadlines for submitting documentation and are asking for that money without having submitted any documentation, any detailed design, any kind of like architectural drawings about what the city is actually paying for, what the stadium will actually look like, so that the city obviously can then say, well, there's going to be 100 concession stands and there's going to be a bar on this corner and we're going to expect this contribution to our, like local hospitality businesses, and there's going to be 25,000 capacity. So on home games, we can expect there to be people flying in, and so they can do all of their modeling to kind of understand how they're going to recoup value from their $600 million investment. And the Blazers are not submitting any of that because it's not done, because they want the city of Portland to pay for the architecture firm to do all of those to draw up all of those documents and architectural sketches so that they can then submit it to the city of Portland to approve the funding. Meanwhile, state funding, which has already been approved, there's deadlines for that, which is expiring. So if that deadline expires, it will need to go back to the state legislature to get reapproved. Tom Dundon could just pay for the architecture up front, the architectural firm up front. He's a billionaire. And then, hammer out a deal later with the state. And the state and the city are basically saying, we want to pay $600 million of public money to keep this team in the city, to renovate the stadium. And Tom Dundon is trying to squeeze every literal last drop that he can out of public funds to keep the Trailblazers in Portland. And he's not threatened, but he's letting it kind of be known that well, he would be prepared to move to a more cooperative city. Like, it's absolute, I'm sorry, because I know you've come down on the other side of this. It's absolute reprehensible bullfuck from an absolutely reprehensible bullfuck operator.
I haven't come down completely on the other side of it. I'm more, I'd never heard his argument or people representing his argument. But while that's all going on with the public money stuff, what is bad is what he's doing to the on-court product. So he's brought in the coach. He's brought in Micah Nori on a 3-year deal with an option after each year, which never happens. Team option. So it is a 1-year deal if he doesn't perform well. And he's got a team full of mercurial guys who, as you mentioned, it's going to be quite funny when they clearly don't mix well together and it doesn't work. And then on top of that, he's cutting costs on the team front wherever he possibly can. So he famously wasn't flying 2A players to road games. They had the smallest cohort of coaches in summer league. They weren't flying some extended assistants, like sort of like training assistants to playoff games or the play-in games. They were bringing the smallest amount of people on the team plan as possible, so they didn't have to pay them. So that stuff, I don't know why I led with I'm on his side. I think I need to definitely.
There's nothing to say that as I understand, doing those things is like a break with NBA convention. Definitely. There's nothing to say that NBA convention is right. That you have to, that there's not like savings to be found.
It just seems like corporate scraping.
Yeah, well, it is corporate scraping. And, it is to help his bottom line. And he's a guy who definitely doesn't need his bottom line to be helped. That's not why you buy the basketball team. But there's nothing to say that they're like, what's the actual added value, cultural or otherwise, of bringing the two-way player to the games or having 10 coaches instead of 7. Like who knows about all of those things? Tom Dundon's NHL team, the Charlotte Carolina somethings won the Stanley Cup. So he's not some like, he doesn't have no familiarity with elite sporting environments. Like he has a bit of a track record. All of those things can be true. There can be value in that approach, and to do that with your own money is fine. You don't want to pay 3 coaches who you don't see the value in, or you don't want to pay $5 million a year for a head coach when you can pay $1.5 million a year. Fine, that's your money. To do it with public funds with such an air of entitlement, when the public legislature, the state legislature, is working with you to give you money. Like, it's just absolutely bottom of the barrel stuff.
Jody Allen also sold the team with a handshake agreement that the team will stay in Portland.
Tom Dundon seemed like the kind of guy that's honoring handshake agreements.
It seems really weird that she picked him. Like, there were multiple people looking to buy, and there were minority owners that could have bought more, and she picked him because he said he will keep. I'm sure whatever it was legally. There's loopholes where you can say, "Oh, I'll do my best" or whatever. Anyway, we're
just before we move on. Just to
cap it.
Well, just to cap the Los Angeles Clippers conversation, I googled if Devin Booker was a grape variety, what would he be? And it said a bold Cab Sav,
right?
Which is a bit underwhelming. Whatever.
There's only so many grapes. We're both going under for the Portland Trailblazers because we just spent 70% of the time talking about off-court stuff, which usually, if there's something disgusting going on off-court, then that leaks onto the court. Golden State Warriors, 39.5. Last year they won 37 wins, which was enough to make the play. And this year it will not be. They were 21st in offense, 23rd in defense, 20th overall. They added Yaxel Lendenborg, a grizzled veteran. They lost Quinton Post and Pat Spencer. They re-signed Charles Bassey, Draymond Green, Al Horford, G. Anthony Melton. I can't believe we actually got him back. And Gary Payton II. We missed out on signing LeBron James. That was well reported. And how we would have done it is opening up the MLE by Draymond, who declined his player option. He ended up just re-signing for what his player option was, plus $100,000, price of doing business for him. But Draymond Green was prepared to do that, so he declined his option, just hung out for a couple of weeks without a contract, and then we signed him back. But we still had the option of signing someone to the mid-level exception if Draymond was ready to play ball. We didn't get LeBron James. Why does that mean we couldn't get someone else? I think maybe because of the clutch connections and, Draymond's his best friend or whatever. But you now look at the roster and it's like, okay, well, this is a core that, okay, we won 39 games, but if Steph was healthy, we'd probably win 45 games, right? That was the core of the team. I think there's no arguing that. Yeah, Jimmy Butler injury, but like, again, if Steph was healthy, we would have started with a 4. It definitely wouldn't have started with a 5. And where Draymond was like, okay, we didn't get LeBron, we have to pack it up and we can't get another mid-level guy. Yes, okay, time passed and there were no more mid-level exception guys available. But like so I guess maybe it's LeBron's fault, because if he had just decided earlier, maybe we could have pivoted to Rui Hachimura or someone like that. So who's clearly not incredible, but is better than bringing back Gary Payton II for one of our roster spots. This is really hard. I sadly think this is going to be one of the teams that gets pinched. I'm not like you. I don't have to pick the over on my favorite basketball team. Steph, in the 50 games that we play, we might win 60, 65% of those games.
You might.
Yaxel Lendenborg, the last 2 tournaments he played in, he won.
You going from being absolutely disgusted when your team picked Yaxel Lendenborg to by halfway through the season being, number 1 cheerleader, Yaxel Lendenborg is easily this upcoming season's most predictable storyline.
He's going to be a good rotation piece, but there's just no upside.
Fine.
How he plays
whatever,
this year.
Sean, whatever, whatever you say.
Cam Johnson too.
You are going to just be, come January, you are just going to be the group, the messages in the group chat will tell the story.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer we missed out on Quinton Post. Not that he's a world beater, but now it's Charles Bassey for when Kristaps Porzingis misses 40 games. I'm going under. Dante, what are you doing?
You won't believe it, but I'm also going under. Did I have this as my best bet last year? Them to go under. I remember I was going. I had strong feelings about it last year. Jimmy Butler will be healthy by the time the season starts. Yeah.
No.
When did he do his ackle?
Like January.
Really?
It was before the deadline. So because we had a deal, this was reported from Anthony Slater, we had a deal to trade for Jaylen Brown. Like, we were in discussions for a Jaylen Brown deal. We were also in discussions for Giannis. And it was to keep Jimmy Butler and bring in a third piece around Steph and Jimmy. They just fell apart because Jimmy was injured right before the deadline.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just asking more out of curiosity. I'm going under either way. This team will not be particularly good. And your best player is 37 years old and 6'1". So...
last year you wrote hard under, so it wasn't your best bet, but you wrote hard under. Your best bet last year was Indiana Pacers under.
And what happened?
I wrote over. Isn't that fun?
Did they go under?
Yeah. My best bet was Cavs over, and they eked through.
That is brave. That is brave business.
Brave podcasting.
The cojones on that one. I'm going under. This team won't be very good. They'll probably win 37. They might win 37 games like they did last year.
Yeah. New Orleans Pelicans, 28.5. Last year they won 26. Just remember they were trying down the end and they were one of the best teams. They were like the final 10 games of Manchester United last year. They were 23rd in offense, 26th in defense, 21st overall. They added Caleb Houston, Kobe Buffkin, Christian Koloko. They lost Kevon Looney, damn it. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan, literally the first move of the offseason, the first move that teams could do. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan as like that sort of sage veteran on the team, but they signed him to a 2-year deal, which means that he does count against the cap, which means by adding more players, which they are still yet to do, they will be against the first apron. This is almost a tax team. And
the significance of that, I believe, my understanding is that if they had just signed him to a 1-year deal, the veteran minimum salary for a player of Jordan's status is covered by the league
and doesn't count against your cap.
It's a tax write-off. So
instead of having a couple $100,000 of space before the first apron, they would have about 5.
And the insinuation is that Joe Dumas didn't understand that and
Yes.
signed him to a 2-year deal.
And I am getting this insinuation from when I was at Sports Business Classroom. Keith Smith and Bobby Marks were joking and laughing about it, and they joked and laughed about it multiple times throughout the week, saying that, look, good scout, really good talent evaluator, but I don't think he knew this because any sane person wouldn't sign him to a 2-year deal, especially because he's like 38 as well.
Yeah.
But for all these, the roles being called like OGs or like, unks on the roster, like, what Udonis Haslam used to be or what Garrett Temple's been making $10 million for the last 3 years doing. The idea is you bring them in a 1-year deal. It doesn't count. They can be a veteran. And they brought him back on a 2-year deal because the veteranosity. Anyway, these guys control their first round pick next year, which means they will be wanting to avoid the top 3, the bottom 3, so they can get more lottery odds. But that's the same for 29 other teams. Everyone's going to be trying, and I'm going under. You've also written under. I'm
definitely going under. This team just fucking sucks, bro. This team fucking sucks. And yeah, Zion, like, who knows what's going on with Zion? He was good last year. Maybe he'll be good again and healthy this year. Maybe he'll get traded because he's like, this team fucking sucks. Derek Queen looks good. Would be great to see him play more. Jeremiah Fears, rookie season.
Yeah, but promising.
Well, yeah, we shall see, shan't we? Under, bro. This team's terrible.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray expiring contract, or maybe DeJounte Murray on a pretty cheap expiring contract is very tradable for a team that just needs a point guard. Herb Jones, good wing that people can trade for. Like, questions about shooting, but if he doesn't have to take as many as he does on this team.
Trey Murphy could be one of the hottest deadline pieces, or before then, depending on how this season for the Pelicans is going. But people were interested in him last season, and there were rumors that he was gettable.
Yeah. Sadiq Bey looked good last year, but no one really watched. Dallas Mavericks, 35.5 wins. Last year they won 26. They were 27th in offense, 23rd in defense, and they were 23rd overall. They added Santi Aldama, Sergio De La Rey, who they drafted 26. He looked really, really good. In Summer League, Maurice Johnson Jr., who they drafted 9th, he looked good. Zachary Reese-Shea, who was drafted first a couple of years ago, he looked shit. They also brought in Marcus Sasser, which I think is a nice little pickup. They lost Marvin Bagley, Ryan Nembhard, and AJ Johnson. They also extended Najee Marshall recently, and they hired a new head coach with Dusty May, the former Michigan head coach. I think you in the group chat said that's got to be one of the fakest names of all time, Dusty May.
It's giving like 2000s porn star. like could be someone who was implicated in one of the Donald Trump lawsuits.
Hey, Dusty May is his real full name. Oh, his full name is Dustin Jake May. Well, I mean, Jake's his middle name, so his name's Dustin May.
He looks, in my head, I was picturing some like, and for our American listeners, I'm sorry, what I'm about to say might be racially prejudiced. I was picturing some Appalachian hick of the, what's the Nuggets coach's name?
Yeah.
What's his fucking name?
I'm
completely blanking on it.
Yeah, he does look like a hick.
Yeah, like he looks like David Adelman.
Yeah.
Dusty May, I'm thinking David Adelman, and he's wearing like a little straw hat, and he's got like overalls on, and he's got like a grain, like a husk of straw coming out the side of his mouth. Dusty May IRL actually looks like a
quite nice guy.
I was going to say he looks like a private equity like businessman who's like, he made like $5 million in the last 3 months doing like leveraged buyouts of struggling companies.
He looks like Steve Kerr if you made him smile all the time.
I'm not getting like positive vibes from the images I'm looking at.
So you have written something shocking here to me.
Yeah, so because I'm like semi just flossing, on this. But
you've deleted it. You've capitalized it.
I'm going over, and this is my best bet.
Far out.
This team could win. This team could easily win 36 to 39 games. This team could be a play-in team.
That's your best bet, though.
Well, not really, because I can't remember my best bets from the Leftern Conference, and none of these are standing out to me. Obviously, the best bet is like a bit of an ethics thing as well. Like, you don't want to kind of be like, you don't want to kind of go best bet on like Oklahoma City over 60.5. Like, that's not the spirit of the best bet. The spirit of the best bet is that you should kind of be laying a bit of rope on this, and you should be exposed somewhat. Like, it shouldn't be a lock to happen. Obviously, I know that this is a bit crazy. I'm predicting a 10-win jump for this team to go best bet.
They're also going to be trying.
Cooper Flag is really, really good. Derek Lively is going to play his 100th. I really like a lot of the players on this team, and allow me to list some of the players that I like. Derek Lively, if he can fucking stay healthy, please. I'm a big Daniel Gafford fan. PJ Washington is just like a perfectly good starting four. Cooper Flag, awesome. Kyrie Irving coming back. I believe in Kyrie Irving as a player that can be really good this season. And then
fifth in the league in mid-range.
Yeah. Trey fucking Johnson. Zachary Reese-Shea, like, he's almost certainly going to be shit, but he's an interesting size player. Najee Marshall, who you mentioned they brought back, I actually think that's great value money. Yeah. And if any of these young guys that they brought in, De La Rey or Johnson, who you say both looked good, if they're even fine rotation players, this could be a really good team. Cooper Flag could be an all-star.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving was an all-star the last time he played a healthy season.
I think Cooper Flag will be an all-star.
Yeah.
And I'm going over. Can I push?
Sean, at this point in the year of our Lord 2026, I'm not fighting you on this. I don't have enough will in me to fight it.
I'm double number pushing. I think this team's going to win 35 or 36 games. And I completely understand why I'm not allowed to do that, because the booksmakers also believe that. But I'm going to double number push because this is a 35 win team. Kyrie Irving trade potential halfway through the year. Klay Thompson trade potential / buyout potential because he
doesn't Kyrie though just give you like he could just accept UNC status on this team, like active UNC status.
Yeah.
Like he's the starting point guard on this team of young players with a superstar, you know, he's nurturing a superstar. I just get the vibe from him that he could
have
just
a good
be like,
time.
yeah, I'm actually, this is what I'm here for. This is like pure basketball. Like I'm here with the next gen. I'm playing a significant role. I'm playing really well. I like the team. I like the city.
Yeah, whatever.
Is he really going to be trying to fucking find his way
to the Heat or something?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and you trust? Do we still trust Masai Ujiri? Like he has assembled a cast of 6'9" blokes, which he loves doing.
Who knows? At this point, I'm all in on the Dusty May experience. When has private equity ever gone wrong? That's what I would say.
Yeah, they've still got the thing of 48 minutes a good center, which like that was popularized 3 years ago when they made the finals.
Well, yeah, I mean, do they have that? Because Gafford and Lively missed the whole season last year, basically, and Gafford was Gafford was so limited by injuries that at one point, and I know this because I had him on my fantasy team, at one point he was coming back from injury and they had him on a minutes restriction. The minutes restriction was 10. So he's playing consecutive games of like 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
You know? Musa Cisse is quite good. I think he's come off his two-way and they re-signed him on a minimum. He's a good player.
Best bet.
Santi Aldama, we know he's good. Santi Aldama is the forward pairing with Cooper Flagg is quite good because Cooper Flagg in theory and also in practice can guard 3s and 4s and Santi Aldama can't. So you switch them and put them on let's say you're going against Clippers, you've got Derrick Jones Jr. and Kawhi, you know who you're putting on each one. Marcus Sachs is good. I can't believe the Pistons let him walk. There was the Ryan Nembhard walkout, which had one person attend it.
Union action.
This team's going to win 35 games.
Yeah.
All right. Next team, Memphis Grizzlies, 28.5. Last year they were 25. They were 24th in offense, 27th in defense, 24th overall in net rating. They drafted Cam Boozer third. They brought in as in after they traded Jeremy Grant, Ja Morant. They got Jeremy Grant. They traded for Isaiah Stewart in incredible value, actually, like 4 seconds. And they signed Quinton Post to an offer sheet, which was not matched by the the Golden State Warriors. They lost Santi Aldama, Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, rest in peace, and KCP, who they bought out. They're currently still over on roster spot, so I think one person has to get dropped, and it's going to be a duel to the death with Javon Small and Mashak, whatever his name is, Jamal Mashak. This team, I think, is actually going to be quite chippy and fun. Like, Ty Jerome at the 1, Cedric Coward at the 2, Jeremy Grant maybe, but Jalen Wells, another up-and-coming 3-and-D wing with Cedric Coward. Cameron Boozer, if he is the guy and the hub of an offense, he has a pretty good team around him to build with.
Easily the most positive thing you've ever said about Cameron Boozer. You said his name and you didn't immediately say heinous and reprehensible things about him.
Zach Edey, he's in the Derek Lively school of when's he bringing up his 100, but when he does, he's good. Isaiah Stewart, Quinton Post, Taylor Hendricks, can he do something? GG Jackson.
Remember him?
Always, like the darling of fantasy fantasy leagues after the trade deadline. This one's really hard. You've written here under. I'm not sold yet.
Well, I feel pretty lukewarm about this, so I'm not going to try and sell you. However, I will just say, in addition to Keaton Wagler, Cam Boozer is my other guy from this draft.
You've just picked my non-guys.
I haven't watched any, like I said, I haven't watched any film. I've probably watched 10 plays of Cam Boozer on my Instagram just over the course of the last 3 to 4 months, both at Duke and at Memphis Grizzlies Summer League. But fuck it, I'm hoisting my flag to the mast and hoping that I don't get hoisted by my own petard. I've gone under because this team will probably be one of the worst teams in the conference. And, like, yeah, it's a pretty good... like, deep roster on paper. But there's no all-star even remotely close to this team. And there are teams in this conference who have all-star caliber player or players who could still be like in the low 30s. You know, like it's possible that Golden State win 34 games. It's possible that Dallas with Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving win 31 games. There's just much better stuff going around in the West, even in this kind of like, you know, just outside the play-in kind of bracket. So for this team to be winning 29 games, I just don't really see it.
Yeah, you've sold me. I'm going under as well. It's quite a high number. They're going to win 23, 24.
I sold you and I wasn't even trying to sell.
But like there's too many good teams. There's too many teams trying with the lottery odds. These guys might be fighting with other teams to like get out of that bottom three so their pick can improve.
Yeah,
and it'll be fun. This is a positive of the lottery odds. Later in the season, Memphis are going to want another high draft pick so they can build their young, promising core, and they might be stuck in the bottom three with XYZ other teams, and they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. And we're going to see this young team try and actually like really win some gritty games late in the season, and that's going to be fun, and that's going to be good for their development. And again, if Cam Boozer is the guy who can be your 1A on offense, surrounded with a bunch of role players who are also building with him, that's good for basketball, and it's good for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Again, you know, I'm surprised to hear you speak so positively.
He looked better after I saw him at Summer League, but again, like the whole knocking him.
You just don't know how to watch film like guys like me.
The knock that Lucas and I were agreeing on is that, okay, you're a big body. You're like, again, he's wearing David Roddy's number in Memphis, which, you know, is he just like a supercharged David Roddy?
Inauspicious.
So when it's time to like post up against just like replacement level guy like PJ Washington, you're not going to overpower him. Can you overpower him one day? Okay, I guess that's the theory. But what's someone who's doing that right now? Nikola Jokic, right? Can you beat Nikola Jokic? Probably not.
No, well, because he's 6'8" and weighs 60 pounds
so
less.
Zach Randolph, but more agile, better jump shot.
I think you're being too limited in your like thinking about what he is going to be asked to do on the basketball court. Because maybe he can't do that, so he won't be asked to do that. He can do other things though. What can he do? He's got a pretty tight handle for a big guy. He's really good shooting off the catch. He can create his own shot off the dribble. You know, his own jump shot off the dribble, and he's a really good passer. So offensively, like, fine, he's not going to back down PJ Washington in the post, but is he facing up in the post on the wing and he's like, you know, fizzing passes all around the court? Maybe. Is he running inverted pick and rolls with Zach Edey and hitting Edey on the roll to the rim? Maybe. Is he catching and shooting and spacing the floor when he needs to? Maybe. And from what I have heard and read, again, I haven't watched any film, you know, he's a smart defensive player who, although he is clearly like athletically limited, he's a smart defensive player who's always in the right spot, and he's playing next to Zach Edey, presumably down the future. So that kind of helps, at least in terms of if you get beaten off the dribble.
Their head coach, whose name I can't remember, that Ja Morant hates, he's got this cool theory.
Thomas Isalo.
Yeah, he wants to play everyone in high energy 4 to 5 minute stints. So like, yeah, Cam Boozer will play 30 minutes, but it's going to be in these stints where he's coming in, coming out. That bodes really well for a team that is 15 deep. Like they're having a roster crunch right now. So it's like they have 4, maybe 5 point guards who could be NBA level.
Well, that's just how
guards.
You win games in January and February. Like your guys are fresh and they're playing against guys who are like a little bit tired with the grind of the season starting to creep in around game 50. Yeah, you know, yeah.
I'm actually keen to see how they rotate. Like there might be games where he plays 13 players and they all like score 7 points.
But you're still going under.
Still going under. Just unproven. Utah Jazz, 36.5. Last year they won 22 games. Or 20. It actually doesn't matter what last season's numbers were for them. Darren Peterson, they drafted second. They brought in Jackson Hayes, Josh Okogie, and Mo Bamba. They lost Walker Kessler, and they re-signed Yusuf Nurkic. I'm going over. Dante, what are you doing?
I'm going over as well because this is like the ultimate put up or shut up. We know this team's going to try and win.
Yeah.
We know Will Hardy is one of the 2 coaches in the league who has been historically like tank proof.
Yeah.
Which is if you give him an NBA roster, he will win NBA games.
Yeah.
So the only way to tank is to take away his NBA roster.
Yeah.
This team is like pretty fucking on paper, pretty.
I really
deep.
like it.
The depth chart, according to ESPN.com/NBA/team depth, is Keontae George, Darren Peterson, Lowry, Jaren Jackson, and Yusuf Nurkic. For what it's worth, I don't think that Yusuf Nurkic will start. I think that Lowry and Jaren Jackson will be the 4 and the 5, and Ace Bailey will start. That leaves Nurk, Kyle Filipowski, everyone's favorite grooming victim, Mormon grooming victim. Google it. Isaiah Collier, Josh Okogie, and Jackson Hayes as like your 6 through 9 kind of team. Like that's actually like low key fine.
It's good, man.
Yeah. And like Keontae George was, I don't know, was he the 35th best player in the league last year? Maybe.
Yeah. I would say even higher.
So even really higher. Triple J, hopefully he's healthy. He's had some health issues the last couple of seasons, but that's a former defensive player of the year in the prime of his career. Lauri Markkanen's sneaky old, and sneaky like, fucking Lauri Markkanen games played last 3 years can't be a big number.
Larry Markkanen playoff games played.
Yeah,
it's 0.
That's not even a number. Well, I suppose 0 is a number. I feel like I've done this on the pod before, but Larry Markkanen games played last 3 seasons: 42, 47, 55, reverse chronological order. I'm surprised it's even that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
This team could be really, really good if Darren Peterson plays at like a high level for a rookie and slots in. This team could be awesome.
I think Yusuf Nurkic will start. I think he will be the starting center on game 1, maybe on game 82 as well. But I think they're closing games with Jaren Jackson at the 5, as you mentioned. I think Jaren Jackson, the thing on him coming out of college was that he was going to be a 4 and he might close at 5s. But
you can't rebound, and neither can Larry Markkanen, so that's something.
Huge question mark. But I think him closing at the 5 will be very interesting. Again, can't rebound, but if you just make your shots. And you can always just project internal growth. Like I think sometimes as podcasters we get lost by looking at what they have done, but new situation, new coach, really good coach, he could also just improve as a rebounder. I think I like Jaren Jackson Jr. the most out of any one on this podcast network. I'm also hitting the over. Put up or shut up. This team's really good. They also have 1 million future first round picks, so they can improve the team come the trade deadline. They didn't fall in love with Walker Kessler, and they gained 4 future first round picks for the prize of not having to pay him $30 million.
If you discover through the course of the first half of the season that
you need a center,
but he needs to be better than Yusuf Nurkic, you can go and get
go
and get that guy. That guy will be out there.
Yeah. Keontae George played really well last year. Wanted a contract extension. Didn't get it because the Jazz are also hoping to play in free agency this upcoming offseason. Don't know if they will, but just a tiny vibe check, tiny vibe negativity that they're not going to give him the contract extension as he enters the season and want him to prove it, which is fine because you've drafted Darren Peterson 2nd overall and he might be your starting point guard moving forward. So maybe you trade Keontae George, which is extremely binary and not the way the world works, but just putting a little pin in it that there's a 1% explosion chance.
Well, there's also the other side of it is that maybe it is as you say, and they're going into the season and he feels a little bit of like lack of security, or maybe it is they're saying we will pay you, we will give you a fair deal, whether it's now, whether it's during the season, or whether it's next off season. But we want to be really good and it's more flexible for us to kind of leave it. But if they have made the promise to him, we are going to give you a fair market value like contract, then they can't, we know by now, that they won't walk away from that because of the damage that it will have with the relationship with the agent and with players around the league. Yeah. Not to mention, on the team, if he's been, stitched up or whatever. So
yeah, we're both going over. Final team of the 2026-27 NBA over-unders on the Deep to NBA podcast, featuring me, Sean Carroll, and Dante Boffa of the Dante City Boffers. It's the Sacramento Kings. 21.5. Last year they won 22. They were 26.5. It doesn't matter. It's shit. They drafted Darius Acuff, 7th overall. They also drafted Alex Caravan, 29th overall, who looked bad. Emmanuel Sharp, 45th, who looked good. They're likely going to lose DeMar DeRozan. Russell Westbrook might be coming back. They traded Devin Carter because for some reason they just do not want to keep him on the roster whatsoever. I kind of feel bad for the guy. I hope he sticks in Atlanta or somewhere. They're currently looking at bringing in guys who can be veterans for Darius Acuff Jr. and mentors for him. There was a report this morning / last night that they're considering bringing back Russell Westbrook, but they understand that he might not want to come off the bench in favor of Darius Acuff. So they're looking to get someone who they can bring in as that mentor. A lot of stock to put into the dude you drafted 7th. The Kings don't know what they're doing. They also re-signed Precious Chua, who is really good for them. What are you doing, Dante?
I had originally just looked at the number and gone over, but yeah, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck was I thinking going over? I'm going under, because this team is really bad, and this team is
it's really bad
from ownership down. Like, it's just complete incompetence, and like Darius Acuff is going to start as you kind of laid out. Domantas Sabonis is getting paid so much money to not play particularly well for the last couple of seasons. And then the guys in between there is DeAndre Hunter, Zach LaVine, and Keegan Murray, which like on paper is like, oh, okay, yeah. Zach LaVine in Sacramento has been one of the saddest, like one of the saddest kind of arcs of any player's career. DeAndre Hunter just has this ineffable ability to have his team want to move him on after 8 months, no matter where he's playing. Yeah. And Keegan Murray is actually a pretty good basketball player. And
down year last year, injured.
Yeah, feels a really important like niche for this team, but yeah, it just kind of can't stay healthy.
Domantas Sabonis, there was a report on the 5th of August that he is ready to recommit to the Kings after trades failed to materialize, coming from Anthony Slater of ESPN. So he's locked in after working on a trade.
The guy that no one wants anywhere else around the league because he's not that good and earning so much money. He's ready to commit to the only team that wants him.
Yeah. Nick Clifford looked good last year a little bit. Maxime Reynaud was a good rookie. He made jokes about being the second best French center in the league, which was quite funny. Dylan Cardwell is an energy big. He looked really good. He was getting heaps of blocks. He was drafted in the second round last year or undrafted. But in Summer League, both those guys played for their team and they started them together. And they're both just fives, strict fives. And they were just testing things out to see. And they played the taller one at the 4. Maxime Reynaud is a fine basketball player.
Can he shoot? I thought Max was a more of a business to business kind of center. That's back to the basket.
Right. No, he's like a run and dunk.
Right.
He's got soft hands, so it's like you'll run a pick and roll with him. And
Johnson & Johnson moisturizer,
and he'll catch it under the paint, and then instead of just being like, what do I do? He'll like bounce fake and then like little soft little hook. But you're not throwing it down to him in the paint, and he's not turning around. Dylan Cardwell I use this all the time, but he's DeAndre Jordan, right? Yeah. I was going to say Montrezl Harrell, but it's just huge energy guy. Heaps of cool blocks, like a la Hassan Whiteside when he was breaking onto the scene. It's pretty bad. Malik Monk's still in this team.
For fuck's sake, man. For fuck's sake.
All right, Dante, let's wrap up. Any takeaways from this year's over-unders?
I think more than last year, I think I found particularly the middle band of the West and quite a few in the East to be like really well set. And there's a lot of teams that I think have kind of the same expectation and like the same kind of roster, and they're gunning for the same thing as last time. Thinking like, you know, the Rockets or the Magic, teams like that, where it's like you haven't really changed that much substantively. Like maybe the Magic, it's like, oh, you got a different coach, and for the Rockets, Fred VanVleet is coming back, but your number is kind of like, I think that's right where you're gonna be. So,
which is why we introduced the push.
Well, no, we introduced the push because you've got
You're a mongrel.
You've got a pig head. But no, I think, you know, as always, this is such a joy to do with you for the 6th consecutive year.
Huge.
And I will be, you know, like come, what will it be? Come June next year, I will be salivating at the prospect of reviewing these, because I think I'm going to get you.
Yeah, I have the sheet up.
I think won last year comfortably to pull ahead in the all-time.
Yeah, I won
rankings.
19 to 17, and I am all-time ahead of you 97 to 94.
Yeah.
So just like Derek Lively this season, we will be bringing up the 100 hopefully.
Seriously, bats up for 100. That's a cricket reference.
You're funny. All right, well, Dante, thanks for coming on. Everything you said, I echo it.
Peace.